Hey guys, this is Agi, that's AGGI, with Producing Bonedo, and today we're going to take a look at the Antelope Audio Zen Quadro Synergy Core. This is a 14x10 dual USB bus-powered audio interface with an internal DSP and 4 mic preamps. And I used it to record the drums that you're hearing in the background right now using the Glyn Jones method. You want to see how I did that? Keep watching. Let's start by taking a quick look at the Zen Quadro. So this is a compact desktop interface that runs on bus power. That means that you can hook it up to your laptop and basically record anywhere using your studio mics. No power cable needed. It comes with 4 high-quality mic preamps with up to 75 dB of gain, which is plenty. Even for recording quiet sources with dynamic mics, you won't need more than that. All 4 are mic line combo inputs, and the 2 on the front can also be used as high Z inputs for guitars. Output-wise, you got 2 independent headphone outputs, and on the back there's your monitor out and 2 additional line outs for whatever you want to send audio to. Now, in the intro, I mentioned that this is a 14x10 interface, so we're still missing 10 ins and 2 outs. And all these are digital connections. There are 2 more ins and outs via SPDIF, and up to 8 additional inputs via ADAT, which allows you to connect an external preamp module. The Zen Quadro supports resolutions up to 24-bit 192K and uses the same converters as Antelope's higher-end Orion and Galaxy series interfaces, so these are real high-quality converters. Another standout feature is dual USB. So the first USB port connects to your computer, while the second one can send a stereo stream to a mobile device. So this is a very nice feature if you do a lot of streaming. There's also an internal DSP with over 30 effects, including EQs, compressors, guitar amps, you name it. And yes, you can use these in real time for recording and for streaming. So much about the interface. Let's talk about the recording setup now. The first step to getting a good drum sound is, of course, using a well-tuned kit in a good sounding room. This is a Sonor SQ2 Beach vintage drum set with a Ludwig Black Beauty reissue snare in 14x6.5. As I mentioned before, I recorded the kit using the Glyn Jones method with 4 mics only. What's unique about this method is the placement of the overheads. You place one mic above the snare, rack tom, and hi-hats, and the other one's positioned right next to the floor tom, angled towards the snare. Now both mics should have the same distance to the center of the snare, so you don't get phase issues. I used the Audio-Technica AT4080 ribbon mics for this, but you could use any condenser mic. As ribbon mics, the Audio-Technicas naturally have a pretty dark sound, and I brightened them up on the way in, so I used the DSP plugins for this. And besides the vintage preamp emulation, I used the Pultec EQ on the Zen Quadro's DSP to add some high end. I also ended up boosting the bass to make the toms sound a little thicker. So this is basically a smiley face EQ. On kick, I used an AKG D12 in active mode with a dip in the mids, and I applied the same effects as on the overheads. I'm only boosting bass on the Pultec though, no high end. The snare mic's optional for Glyn Jones, but since I had 4 channels I wanted to use them all, and I used a Shure SM57 for this. And look, what a coincidence! I used the same preamp and the same Pultec EQ again. So let's take a listen. These are the raw tracks without any additional mixing. All I did up to this point was panning the overheads, so the snare sits in the middle. Usually you have to pan the mic above the snare a bit towards the center. I'll solo the individual channels while it's playing, so you can hear all of it. So that's pretty cool for only 4 mics, right? I did some more mixing though, and that's what I'll show you now. First, I did some cleaning. On the overheads, that's mainly a cut around 4K where the cymbals were getting a bit harsh, and I wanted to push these channels to get the toms louder. On overheads, I also used the Oak Sound Soothe plugin to soften the cymbals a little more. Now, just to be clear, these are third-party plugins not connected to Antelope Audio. And of course, the settings will vary depending on your drums, your room, your mics, and how the drums are played. Especially with Glyn Jones, it can be a good idea to play the cymbals softer than the drums. Now, on kick and snare, I did some more cleaning and enhancing, plus I gated the kick and I compressed the snare with an 1176. I used a fast attack and release because it felt a bit pointy to me. Then on the drum bus, I used the Lindell AT channel by Plugin Alliance to add a bit of saturation. No EQ or compression here. Then I added a parallel bus with a Waves Abbey Road 124 RS compressor to make it all a little more exciting. To stick with Abbey Road, I also used the Abbey Road Chambers plugin. That's the default preset. There's some basic stuff on the master bus too, but I don't think we need to talk about that right now. So now I'll play back the drums and I'll activate the plugin step by step so you can hear the difference. So that's it. That was really not a lot of work for a drum recording, was it? I'll play the whole song now, and I hope you liked the video. And feel free to comment and like and subscribe. Thanks.